me, you go wait for me. Wait for me, baby, run with me. Can't you run?
I love that song. It says, if you love me, you go wait for me. And the truth about this today is that we don't want to wait anymore. Hi guys, welcome to Real Talk with Tola. Yay! It's 2018 and I'm so glad you guys have joined us. Welcome to 2018. It's a beautiful year. It's a gorgeous year, and I hope you guys had a fantastic New Year celebration. I was at church digging it, partying, for the Lord, and it's just been a great way to start the year. So let's get right into the video. Today I wanted us to talk about a question that I posted out 3 weeks ago, whether virginity guaranteed a successful marriage, and about 80% of you said that virginity didn't guarantee a successful marriage. And I was sort of thinking like, okay, why then do we emphasize virginity so much? What I wanted us to talk about basically is the virginity, whether it still matters today. And and if you're struggling with holding on to your virginity, I want to tell you about my virginity story basically. So I was a virgin for 23 long years. For me especially, like, I had so many things like just pushing this virginity card on me basically. First of all, I was a Christian. Second of all, I was a Yoruba Nigerian. Like, there's been a Nigerian and then there's been a Yoruba girl, and then lastly I was a pastor's daughter. So like virginity was this like holy grail of holiness that you had to attain. And like I said, like, you would hear things like, tell your body to wait, like you must keep yourself, present yourself as a gift to your husband. And it was, for me, really hard just growing up in New Zealand when I was around like kids that did not value like sex as anything. Like, people were having sex like as 13-year-olds, people were sleeping around, like going, like sharing each other. And little Tola was the odd one out that wouldn't do those things. And I was, teased as being frigid and all these like things when I was growing up. And it sort of led to the experiences or the experiments that I did. Just because of that, that culture and that and the pressures, I was tempted in so many ways. Like, I would have boyfriends, and each time, like, I kissed a boy or I got really close to a boy, doing things that was compromising that sexual act each time, I would feel so guilty. I would feel so ashamed. Like, I would feel so bad. Like, I couldn't even come into God's presence. Like, I would feel really terrible each time basically, and I would pull myself away from God, like, oh, I'm not worthy of God's forgiveness or his chances because I really want to have sex. Or I did not have sex before marriage, but each time I compromise that stance, I would feel so guilty. But in marriage, I didn't feel guilty. And one of the beautiful things for me, and the reason why I feel virginity is important, is that shame factor. For me, it wasn't until I got married that I really understood the Bible chapter in Genesis chapter 2 verse 25, where it says Adam and his wife were naked and they felt no shame. I didn't feel guilty the first time my husband and I came together because I didn't have to pack up my bags and leave. I didn't have to be self-conscious. I didn't have to be a Victoria's Secret model. We just had sex and it was beautiful, and I just didn't feel guilty about it. So I feel like that is one of God's purposes for virginity. The one resolution that I put out to you is to value virginity as well. Value yourself in that sense, that there's more to you than sex. Like, what is the purpose for wanting to lose your virginity? What is the purpose? Is it just to have sex and that's it? Like, come on, like there has to be much more than that. Why would I want to give myself? Why would I want to let somebody into my physical space, my personal space, if I'm not connected to them? Virginity matters. Keeping yourself matters because there's just so much blessing in it there. But on the flip side, virginity doesn't guarantee a successful marriage, because if that's all that's going for you, that you have going for you, your marriage is not going to work out well. If you are single, if you're married, if you're in a relationship, like, what are you doing to develop yourself beyond virginity? Sometimes virginity, we value virginity so much that we don't actually build people. As Christians, we need to sort of change that conversation about virginity. It shouldn't just be because you're giving a gift to your husband. It shouldn't just, or your wife. It shouldn't just be because you're avoiding getting pregnant. It shouldn't just be because you're trying to avoid an STI. Virginity is about that relationship with God. Because I was able to keep myself in that sense. I was able to go back to God and just have that conversation with him and say, hey, God, nah, let's be real about this virginity thing. Body no be firewood. Like, winter is cold. Like, summer is hot. I need a bae to chill with. Like, I just need to have sex, like, now, in that sense. And you have those desires. I think as Christians, we forget, we don't talk about how, you want to have sex. Sex is such a beautiful thing. We just mystify sexuality so much. Like, as a Christian, you mustn't have that. No, God created that. It's not like, the funny thing is this, your desire for sex is not just going to wake up once the day of your wedding day. Like, that's not what it's about. I think we need to have conversations about, the sexuality, what you like, know your body, know yourself as well, but know it in God. Marriage is a safe place to do that. And I know we'll continue to have this conversation. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video, and let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Next week, I'll be looking at the different standards that we have for Christian guys and girls when it comes to purity. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Do we still expect Christian guys to be virgins when they get married? Let me know what you think in the comments below. See you next week.